starting from here. I think we are done on this table. This is a good document. One day you can call the audience to give us contribution.
Thank you very much. At this point, we'll throw the line open 080240-83108. You can also watch us live on www.ebonystate.gov.ng, course of ICT Department in Government House. www.ebonystate.gov.ng. Contributions, please.
Let's call Ministry of Education. They have shown a high level of cooperation and patience in the course of the last 1 week. So let education speak to us, and after that we'll take youth and sports.
Honorable Commissioner for Education, Professor Ike, please. You're welcome.
Just education has to speak.
Honorable Donatus Njoko, the Honorable Commissioner for Environment. He has as well made his own part in the budget presentation. And on the podium, next on the podium is Honorable Commissioner for Education, Professor John A.K.
People are not meant to leave after presentation.
Which MD is leaving? Hello, Oga. Can you come back, please? Can you return back? The man wearing cap, ask him to return back. That's his subordination. Return back to the hall. Sorry about that. Chairman, I had earlier commended your committee because
we all know that budgeting is it is important because it will serve as a guide.
All the ministries, including the tertiary institutions, all of them are here. The cover page 1, you will see at a glance that 2017 budget was total 7.7 billion, and there we assessed 4.6 billion, which is nearly 60% assessment. Outstanding is 3.1 billion. Prof, you're sounding professor now. Thank you, Prof. Now, I will address the budget before I make my comment. Page 2, you see Ministry, UBEB, SEP, Mass Literacy, the Library Board, EDC, EPSU, and the IWOP. Everything, you see the summary there. We have a projection for next year, 15 billion. Then, page by page, you'll observe that in some of the items, we assessed up to 100% of the budget. When you look at the installation of solar energy in some schools, that's item number 1 from page 3. You will see 100% assessment of the budget for 2017. Then number 2, we procured over 20,000 furniture to our children. We assessed 58.4% of the budget. By next year, we are budgeting 717 million out of the standing of this year. Then the next one is the e-library. We have shared some laptops to schools, and that made us to assess 92% of the budget. You go to number 9, teaching aid, 30% assessment. And by 2018, we budgeted 423 million. Then number 13, Mr. Chairman, purchase of vehicles and hillocks and buses. We assessed 31%. But this year we need more vehicles, and we budgeted 201 million. In fact, this is our area of emphasis by next year. for us to get vehicles to supervise and monitor teaching and learning in the schools. Now, you go to page 4, you look at number 18. We assessed 100% fund for school agriculture. We gave the money to principals. Mr. Chairman, this week we are going to schools by zone, monitoring their farms, and they are doing very well in the school agriculture. Then in number 26, ICT lab workshop. We have started building some ICT workshop in some schools, and we assessed 37% of that fund. Then the boreholes, we assessed 65%, and this time our plan is to build borehole in all the schools, one boreholes. Finally, in page 5, you look at number 31 and 34, where we have construction of new classrooms and the renovation of the old ones. We assessed 71% in renovation of old buildings out of 1.3 billion that was budgeted. Then for 31 in construction of new buildings, we assessed all. And I must also in perimeter fencing, 100% assessing. Now let me comment as this. Ebonyans, when this government took over in 2010, in 2015, our fund in UBEC was abandoned by the past administration. They were not assessed since 2010, and they accumulated so much. And I'm standing here to commend our governor because last year and this year, we have assessed over 6 billion from that fund. As I speak with you, we are expecting 1.8 billion, and the state government, our governor has paid in our own catapult fund last week, 1.8 billion. And before Christmas, before we go on holiday, the counterpart of 1.8 will come to add to 1.8, and that is 3.6 billion that will form our opening balance by January, Mr. Chairman. And that is why our target in UBEM for the next year is 10 billion, which by January 3.6 billion is already in account, courtesy of our governor, the education-friendly governor. I comment on this because there is no state in Nigeria. The number of schools we are renovating, more than, if you put the new ones, there are more than 300 in number. Everywhere they are ongoing, in standard, everywhere. There's no community we are not renovating schools now. Out of 1,066 primary schools and 223 secondary schools, renovations are going on. We are building even upstairs in primary schools now in Ebonyi State. So our governor needs to be commended on this. Then my comment is this. Apart from this area of the infrastructure, we have improved in area of transparency in examination. We have dismantled the examination by practices, the so-called miracle centers. And this year too, we were able to retrain all our secondary school teachers, particularly in the area of their attitude to work. By this year, we'll be training all the primary school teachers because we're emphasizing on improving their attitude to work. And Mr. Chairman, sir, before I round up, community participation in management of schools. We have been able to, like you advised us the day we made consequence to your office, SNG. PTA have been formed in a way that they are participating in the running of our schools. And we are closing illegal schools. More illegal schools will be closed. Then in adult education, Ebonyi was ranked the best in Nigeria. And that is why the African Regional UNESCO Director visited Ebonyi State 2 months ago. And we have achieved uniform scheme of work. It's only in the Ebonyi State, sir, that we have uniform scheme of work in secondary school. And that is why we are having unified probation exam and pre-work examination. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and God bless you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Thank you. Like I earlier said, the document you gave us today is in the format we wanted it last week. So thank you for taking the pain and the patience to redo this, you know, for us to appreciate what has happened in the ministry. 59% performance is not a bad one. It's a good effort from our government. Everybody can attest to the fact that a lot has really happened in the last 2 years, especially with upgrade of our infrastructure in all our schools. You know, so we must sincerely thank His Excellency for his commitment to our educational system. I think today the House Committee on Education, House of Rep Committee there in the state for oversight function, so far they have informed us that they are impressed with our overall performance on all our projects. We just have a few comments for you. If you go to page 3, yeah, page 3, you have installation of solar energy. 2017 budgetary provision was 180 million. Actual expenditure was also 180 million. Project performance was 100% completion. In 2018, you are seeking for 30 million. So we're asking why? Since you have completed the project, what's the 30 million for? So if it's an oversight, then you can work at it. Yeah, because since the project is completed, that place should have been 0, except if otherwise. So you note that, okay? Then number 3, you also have in 2017 budget 87 million. Actually was 80 million. Outstanding funding requirement is 7.1 million. Status of project 92% completion. In 2018, you are seeking for 281 million. So we see that as a very serious discrepancy. We want you to look at it. If it's a new project, then let it be a new item on the budget. It may be a new project you're proposing. Let it be a new item in our budget so that it will have new provision as a new item. Are we following? Okay. So those then year number 29. Construction of boreholes and overhead tanks in our schools. Last week we took a rendition from Commissioner for Water Resources, and we as a committee can still remember that she made provision for installation of boreholes in all the schools in the state. So we may request you to reconcile with her. If she is undertaking this task, there may not be need for duplicity. But if you want to do it, then it has to, leave her budget. But I think it is most suited in her budget. So liaise with her and reconcile that. I think those are the few comments we have from this end. Then college of nothing. Okay. So you can open your floor for comments and questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The floor is open. And for callers outside, we have 00240-83108. And we are talking education this time. Please comment from the floor, please.
The Honorable Commissioner for Education, Professor John A.K., has also given us his own part in this occasion. It is time for our viewers and our listeners to react.
Where are you calling from? Okay.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Honorable Commissioner. Please, I wanted to know, because my name is Chama Aja. I wanted to find out, because the budget, you talked about most of the things that were done 2017, and it seems that most of the projects you're also doing them, you're carrying them over to 2018. So I wanted to find out, are there like new projects that the ministry will be carrying out? And then I also wanted to suggest something about education, because this is like really amazing, all the things that we're doing with school. But what we really don't focus on here in Nigeria or in Africa in general is how much result it is bringing out in our students. And we don't really focus on how we can bring out the best out of our students. It's fine and good that we can provide e-library, but I think that one thing that is definitely missing in our educational system in Nigeria is, especially the public system, is extracurricular activities. If you read things about research in 2017 going forward, you find out that research says that for students to do better, you have to involve them in like extracurricular activities that balances them emotionally, because it is emotional balance that brings out the best in students. So please, I would like the ministry to incorporate extracurricular activities. Like, I know that they're like debating, the students debate, but I don't think they're like enough of it. And then sporting activity is not really encouraged. And WHO has projected that by 2020, a lot of students who are in school will be suffering